Hello and welcome to another motorcycling video. This time I'm not actually riding a motorcycle, I'm just talking about motorcycles. And for those of you who have watched some of my other motorcycling videos, you'll know that I have a Suzuki Burgman 650 AN executive scooter that's based in Tasmania, where I am at the moment. Now unfortunately that bike was involved in an accident recently, and after talking to the place where I sent it for repairs, it appears that the bike is beyond repairable, and will probably be the recommendation from the repairer is that it be written off. They stopped making those bikes in 2018, so getting parts is difficult, and because there are lots of plastic panels on those bikes to take off, there's quite a lot of labour involved in it. So the repair shop is recommending the bike be written off, and I'm waiting for the insurance company to decide what they're going to do there. I wanted to keep riding, so I've been thinking about what other bike I might get as the next option, and I have a couple of criteria in mind, and I'm going to talk about those in this very short video. The first of those is that it needs to be based in Tasmania, where I am at the moment, so that I don't have to go to the mainland and pay transportation costs and go through registration processes and all that sort of stuff. And so in no particular order I'm looking at these three bikes. This is the MP3 Piaggio MP3 500, and as you can see it has two wheels at the front and a single wheel at the back. It's belt driven. The two wheels are not as wide apart as they are on the Spider, and they work in the same way as the wheels on an ordinary motorcycle. That is, they have forks and the bike leans in exactly the same way. It does everything a motorcycle does, with one big exception, and that is that when the bike is travelling at below 5 kilometres an hour, you can lock the two front wheels in an upright position so that when you come to a stop, you don't need to put your foot down. It has a CVT transmission and a parking brake, as well as front and rear brake levers, two discs on the front and a single disc at the back. It has plenty of room under the seat, and I think a little bit of room in the dash, but the one I'm looking at also has a top box, so it's a major consideration. The fact that it's a 500 is the biggest drawback to it here. I think 500 is probably plenty powerful. I just would like something a little bit bigger. I don't need to go roaring around at high speed, but I feel like I want something bigger. So the next option I'm looking at is the BMW C 650 GT, and this is a V-twin motorcycle, very similar to the Burgman in many ways. Has a CVT transmission. It has plenty of under-seat storage, but the one I'm looking at does not have a top box. Two discs at the front, a single disc at the back. The one difference it has with most other scooters is that it is chain driven rather than belt driven, but according to all the reviews that I have read, it's very well engineered. The engines are made by Kymco, or Kymco, however you say that, but they're engineered and designed by BMW, just made by Kymco. It comes with heated grips, heated seats. It has Bluetooth connectivity as well. It doesn't have a top box, but as I said, it has, or I think I said, it has plenty of under-seat storage. And the one I'm looking at, despite being a 2018 model, only has about 2,000 kilometres on the clock, so that means it's barely run in. I'm a bit concerned about it sitting for too long and wondering if the seals might have dried out, but I haven't yet spoken to the owner about getting a ride and so on. And the third one I'm looking at is the most unusual of the three, and that is the Honda DN01. And it is a motorcycle in its looks, in fact a cruiser motorcycle. It looks a bit like a shark, with the big difference. It works like a scooter in that it has what Honda call a human-friendly transmission. That is, it has three modes. It has automatic mode, it has a drive mode and sport mode, and it has a manual mode as well. So it's very similar in that way to the Burgman, in that you can manually select the gears by pushing a button on the left-hand switch, and it gives you a feel very similar to the Spider, but I assume that it allows you to access all 6 gears and therefore be good on the open road for overdrive and better fuel economy. But it in the city you would put in the drive mode because it would save you having to work around with the clutch and working around changing gears, and it just does it automatically. I determined that I no longer wanted to have a manual bike with shifters and clutch and all that sort of stuff. I'm just at the stage where the cars I drive and the are automatics. The motorcycle I ride in Goulburn, New South Wales is a Spider, which has a flappy paddle transmission, and that's the one thing that I want, that I don't have to fiddle around with. Well, thanks for listening. Those are my thoughts on my new bike.